Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. Yes, we're inside today. It is ridiculously muggy outside, so we're just going to hang out inside today in the air conditioning. We love air conditioning in Florida. But how's everybody doing? If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. Good to see you all. And for about the next hour or so, we're going to be... What's the matter?
It sounds really bad.
Something sounds bad?
Well, I mean, I know you said it was going to be hollow, but...
On the YouTube side or on the TikTok side? What's the matter?
YouTube.
Huh? I don't know what you're saying.
YouTube.
On the YouTube side. How does it sound to you guys at home, folks? Rebecca's saying it doesn't sound all that great here. How's everybody?
I sound nice and clear, though.
On the YouTube side, it should sound really good.
Doesn't.
Well, okay. So is everything working well for you all on the YouTube side? Hey, maybe I should turn the microphone on. Maybe I should turn the microphone on. How about that? And then we'll start the show. Oh, my goodness. Hey, look at that. Microphone's on. Maybe that's why it sounds really bad, hon, because they could hear me through your microphone. Oh, look at Q. Q Swanson was all over it. Yes, the microphone was not on. Let's try this again. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Good to see everybody. You know, this is why I left television and film. Clearly, I have forgotten everything that I used to know for my 32 years working there. But I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We're going to spend about the next hour or so talking about all things cruising and travel and all of that. And today I'm actually, I'm kind of standing up. Today, we're trying out something new. I got my little standing desk. Got a new MacBook Pro. I'm going to try standing up, giving myself a little bit more energy. So how's everybody doing? It's good to see everybody. Why, my goodness. Let's see. We got, oh, my goodness, everybody is here. We got Corey. We got Kurt. We got Phil and Sue. We got Mimi, Norma, John, Annette. A whole bunch of people joining in on TikTok as well. Peggy, everybody. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? You know, we got some really, really exciting news on the cruising side that I'm going to share with you momentarily. Oh, hey, user 251. Do we also handle land tours? Absolutely. We do everything. We do land, sea, expedition, pretty much everything. Now, we don't book air unless it's part of, you know, an overall package. Like, you can't just call me and say, hey, can you book a flight for me? No, we don't just do flights, but we are a full service travel agency. And we book pretty much everything out there. Now, there's certain things that are just not in my wheelhouse, but I've got 5,200 fellow colleagues over at KHM Travel Group. So if I can't do it, I will pass you on to one of my amazing colleagues who will take care of it as well. But yeah, certainly reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Wherever you're watching me, there are links in the description. You can set up an appointment with me. You can drop me an email, whatever, and I would be more than happy to give you a call back. Now, I invite you to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all the wonderful things that all of these social channels like you to do. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do some, go ahead and answer some questions. And I see right now, John, is it too early to start the Med Group Cruise Facebook page? You know, I might start a Facebook page. I don't know. It's like that just gives me one more thing that I have to manage. So right now that Med Group is kind of small, which is nice. I think there are 8 staterooms currently booked on the Med Cruise. Rebecca, does that sound about right? About 8 rooms?
8 or 9.
Yeah, so we got about 8 or 9 rooms booked on it. It's going to be a nice small group. I'm starting to like the smaller groups. I really am. So I don't know, John. I may or may not start a Facebook page for that one. I'll certainly be dropping emails to folks and all of that. But not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I would totally support you, John. If you want to go ahead and start it and run it, I'll invite everybody to come to that page if you'd like to go ahead and run it. Hey, Curtis. Hello, Texas. Oh, my goodness. We got everybody over here. That's just so funny. I forgot to turn on my microphone. Mimi, you're finalizing your October 3rd plans. You're going to go to Montreal first, then a train to Quebec City. Is there only one train station in Montreal? I want to make sure you'll be on the correct train. I believe.
As far as I know.
Now, we're doing the Via Rail, VIA, the Via Rail. So that is the one that we're doing. We're actually flying up a few days early ourselves. So we're going to spend some time in Montreal. I think we're spending 2 nights in Montreal. Then we take a train and we spend 2 nights in Quebec before we get on this ship. But I think it's Montreal City Center. As far as I know, the Via Rail only services one of those train stations. I think the other train station might be a commuter train station. within Montreal. But I believe it's just one primary train station that's going to take you from Montreal up to Quebec. If you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, this is an amazing cruise. There's technically a repositioning cruise for the Brilliant Lady. It's only going to be her 5th cruise from Virgin Voyages. It is 13 nights. We're going to do a whole Canada, New England cruise starting in Quebec, and then we're going to go to St. John's, Halifax, Eastport, Maine, Boston, Massachusetts. But then the ship repositions down the East Coast, and we're going to stop off in Charleston, South Carolina for a full 12 hours before we come on into Miami. And that's the other cool thing about this cruise is we got 12 hours in St. John's, we've got 12 hours in Halifax, we've got 14 hours in Boston, and then we've got 12 hours in Charleston. So if you want to have dinner on land, you could actually make a reservation or just go hang out on land and have dinner on land, go see a show. There's like so much you can do. You don't have to rush off, do an excursion, and then just get back over to the ship. So if you want to join us, this is the Brilliant Lady. It's October 3rd through the 16th of this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we start in Quebec. We come down to Miami. The other cool thing about this, it will be the first entrance into Miami for the ship. And that could be pretty doggone amazing because we think that they're going to make a big deal out of it, kind of like, what they've done with the Icon and the World America. So we think they're going to make a really, really big deal out of this. So it could be a lot of fun making that big triumphant entrance into Miami. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some surprises and special guests. You never know. Barbara has just 3 more days to a cruise. Yay! Hi, Mr. T. How you doing? You have one in June. Hasman, you're going to spend a couple days. You're flying into Montreal, spend a couple days, and driving up to Quebec City. That should be a lot of fun. We found the train, and it's like the train was only something like $45 per person is where it starts. I was like, all right, yeah, we'll just take the train. I like trains. That should be a lot of fun. So Sue and Phil want to know, have we ever been on Herigutrin in Norway? We have not been on the ships yet. We have done quite a bit of training, and I have an excellent relationship with both of the Herigutrin reps. We've got Herigutrin and we got HX Expeditions. They actually split the company. And so I've got Lynn over at Herigutrin, who's amazing. I love her. I need to get her back on the show sometime soon. And then I've got Julia over at HX. Now, we did just book an HX expedition in Alaska. Yes, you can do expeditions in Alaska. This thing's going to be amazing. I want to say it's 16 or 20 days in Alaska, complete with Zodiac landings and going into places where certainly no other cruise ships will go. But while we have not actually sailed on them yet, we have booked multiple Herigutrin cruises. And one of the cool things is if you have specific questions that maybe we just don't quite have the answer for, Julia and Lynn will actually get on a call, and we can just do a conference call. You can talk directly to Julia or Lynn with those specific questions. So yeah, just reach out. We love them. I want to get on them so bad. It's just, there's only so many days in the year. I've got to work. Even when I'm on the ships, I got to work. So trying to do it, I'm hoping, one of these days soon, at least, every so often they do come down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, on a pass through going somewhere. I'm hoping to at least get down and see the ship. So that's what I'm really hoping. Chris wants to know, what cruise line is the most comparable to Princess? Well, that's interesting. I mean, just straight up side by side, probably Celebrity.
Maybe Holland.
Yeah, maybe Holland, depending. Holland and Celebrity pretty much are in the same conversation a lot. I think in terms of the shows, it's really, I think Princess is one of the most underrated of the cruise lines out there in terms of the original shows. They have really, really good original shows. I think you can put the Royal class against the Edge class pretty much any time. Then Holland America. But it depends on what you mean. Service-wise, I think Holland America and Princess are almost really, really close. Celebrity is a little bit more over the top with the service, really super out there, but they're both excellent. One of the interesting trends that's happening, and we heard this from other colleagues, is that because Royal Caribbean is starting to get, they're really starting to get up there, but you have equal status matching with Celebrity. And Celebrity does 3rd and 4th guests free quite often, especially when Royal Caribbean does not. More and more kids are starting to show up on Celebrity because it's cheaper for the families to go on Celebrity, bring the kids third and fourth guest free than it is to go on Royal Caribbean. So one of our colleagues was really surprised on the Celebrity Beyond recently. He was like, oh my God, there were so many kids on there. And they started talking to some of the parents. They're like, it's just much more cost effective to bring the family on here, even though it doesn't have the water slides, it doesn't have the rock climbing, doesn't have the ice skating and all of that. It's so much more cost effective to bring the family on the Celebrity and still get our status, status upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So I found that very interesting. We have not been on Celebrity for a while, and I could totally see that, especially on the Edge class ships because they're so big. So just something to be aware of. Apparently, families are starting to show up more and more on Celebrity with their kids just because of the high cost of Royal Caribbean. I found that to be very, very interesting. It's really, especially because Royal Caribbean, kids sail free. That's usually only good when the kids are actually in school, when the calendars are traditionally in school. So, so it's interesting. Hey, Celeste. Hey, Rick. John says Celebrity has to stop that promo. He's allergic to the kids. I know. That's why Virgin Voyages is so amazing. Holly, you're going out of New York shortly. That is absolutely awesome.
Well, I will say two things.
Yeah.
About trying to avoid kids on lines that allow them or massive amounts of them. Yeah. Definitely go when most kids are in school and do something that is longer than 7 days.
Yeah.
Anytime you do a cruise longer than 7 days, true longer, not back to back, right, but a true longer than 7 days, there are way fewer children.
Yeah. So Stephanie loves Celebrity, but you have Princess booked for the first time. Princess is a great cruise line. I think Princess Plus is still, even with the price increase, Princess Plus is just the best paid package at sea. There's just nobody that comes close. That Celebrity all included doesn't even come close to what you get with the Princess Plus. Although they did cut a few things out, still good. Fur Baby Mom, you're going on your first cruise in May. Celebrity Reflection Aqua Class. Oh, you picked a beautiful ship, good cruise line, and the Aqua Class. I mean, you get to go enjoy the benefits of the thermal suite. So that's going to be a lot of fun. By the way, we're just starting out the show too. I want to remind you, if you're watching us on TikTok, you'd like to ask me questions about the amazing Virgin Voyages. You cannot use the word Virgin. That's not me. That's TikTok. It's going to block your question. So if you want to ask a question about Virgin, use VV or use the name of the ship. Just don't say Virgin Voyages. So they will block your comments. So I just can't. That's not me. It's just kind of funny because they have a huge TikTok channel too, which is kind of funny. So let's see. So you brought the Premier package. It's a 15-day transatlantic. So the Premier basically turns it into an all-inclusive cruise, which is really nice. The two ships that I really recommend that Premier package is the Sun and the Star because they have so many restaurants. But, on a 15-day transatlantic, you're really going to be able to enjoy, even if you just have the three main restaurants. You would have Sabatini's, Crown Grill, and usually there's a Rudy's seafood of some sort on there. Even if you just have those three, so you're going to be on the Sky. So even if you have those three, I mean, you can go to each of those restaurants 3 times and have something different.
And plus the casual.
Plus you got the
Alfredos.
So Sky Princess now is probably my favorite princess ship. I mean, we were on the Sun. Sun was absolutely beautiful. But Sky Princess is probably my favorite princess ship right now, next to the Coral and the Island. I love the Coral and the Island. Those are the smallest ships in the fleet. Love those ships. Really love those ships. They're absolutely lovely. And Princess just does a great job. Princess does a really, really nice job. So, yeah. Colonel Dave Dixon, you're doing the Seascape for your 32nd anniversary in September. That's fantastic. MSC, is a good cruise line as long as you know what you're getting into. And of course, you can't argue with the price. Mr. T, is the food better on Virgin Voyages or Royal Caribbean? Well, that would be easy for me to say Royal Caribbean. Now, Royal Caribbean specialty dining is quite good. The included dining, Virgin Voyages would beat them every time. But then again, Virgin Voyages includes all of the dining. So, just straight up on food, I would take Virgin Voyages over Royal. If you're comparing specialty dining and Virgin, they're closer. So I think most of the specialty dining on Royal Caribbean is quite good. I still think Azumi is still, for me, still the best sushi that I've had, the best sushi experience that I've had at sea. And that was on Symphony, I think it was. We did it. And plus, I think we did it on Mariner. going to be on Star of the Seas in just a couple of weeks. Me and Stephanie, we're going to be roomies.
Actually, I think the best sushi was on Explorer.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Explorer did have some ridiculous sushi. I totally forgot. How can I forget about that?
I don't know.
Oh my God, Sakura is so friggin' amazing.
Yeah. Even the stuff in the buffet was pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's true.
Not the buffet, the
food emporium.
Food emporium.
Yeah, the food hall. Yeah, yes. So they had free sushi every single day in the buffet, and it was good. Plus they had that seafood, that cold seafood salad spot. Oh my God. Yeah, we got to get back on Explorer soon. If anybody is a foodie, you really want good food like every single day, Explorer Journeys, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, incredible. I didn't even bring up I think it just went live on my Facebook page. So let's talk about our Christmas voyage that we're going to do this year. So there is a program in Travel Leaders Network, which is the consortium that we're a part of. It is called Distinctive Voyages. And when you book a cruise that is a distinctive voyage, included with your cruise fare and exclusively through us and some of my colleagues, you get 3 items included for free. One, you get a dedicated host. So essentially a concierge that is just dedicated to your group. You can find that dedicated host. That host is going to have office hours, if you will, on the ship. You get a welcome cocktail reception. Again, this is a private reception just for those who booked into the distinctive voyage. And then number 3, you get an included shore excursion. All of that is wrapped up for free. All you have to do is just book the cruise, and you have to book it through a travel agent who is a member of Travel Leaders Network, which I am. So I have been selected as the host for this particular voyage. So Rebecca and I, we didn't know this until just a couple of weeks ago, but Rebecca and I are going to be sailing for Christmas this year on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. We've never been on Cunard. I've wanted to go on Cunard. I watch Gary Bembridge all the time on Cunard. So we're going for Christmas this year. It is December 18th through the 30th. And yes, you guys are welcome to come join us. If we book you, we're going to put you into that distinctive voyage. I'm going to be your host. I will be wearing a tuxedo for formal night. So if you want to see me in a tuxedo, because look, I don't wear suits. I don't really like suits. It was like, you know what? Technically, I don't need a suit because on those formal nights, I could just go to the buffet if I wanted to instead and have a very good meal. But I'm like, you know what? If we're going on Cunard, I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to get a tuxedo. So this voyage is December 18th through the 30th of this year. This coming December, we're going to sail out of Miami for 12 nights. We're going to San Juan, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Martin, and Tortola. What I'm really excited about, Tortola looks like it's going to be a long enough stop that maybe we can go do that snorkeling excursion again on the Daydream catamaran. So if you guys want to join us, this is going to be amazing. If you don't have any plans for Christmas this year, and you wanted to experience Cunard just like we've always wanted to. I mean, it seems like everybody should try Cunard at least one time, right? Because it is that iconic cruise line. Yes, you need to dress up a little bit more than you would on other cruise lines, but during the day, it is just your standard casual. And at night, if you're like, look, I don't want to dress up, you just go to the buffet and eat dinner at the buffet instead. There are certain restaurants and certain dining rooms where you will not be allowed in without a suit on certain nights, but other nights it's going to be kind of like business casual kind of a thing, slacks and a shirt to get into the main dining room and to some of the other dining room. But on formal night, yes, they do want you to dress up. Yes, they do want you to have a suit on in order to go into certain dining rooms. And this ship actually has an honest-to-goodness ballroom. We're going to go dancing.
Which I believe you do have to be dressed in the night's dress code.
You have to be dressed in the formal wear on the formal nights in order to go into the ballroom. So You know what? Why not? We love the cruise. We have seen these ships. We know Gary. You can better believe I'm setting up a time to call Gary and just pick his brain.
I have a feeling we're going to not be assigned a cabin like what Gary would normally book.
No. So when we do these distinctive voyages, we're actually assigned a stateroom. So I don't even know what my stateroom is going to be yet. I just know that I've been assigned to this cruise. I honestly don't care what room we're going to get. No. I just want to be on the ship. It's going to be so much fun. Totally unplanned. We were already planning to be home for Christmas this year. But guess what? We're going to be on a cruise ship instead. And I'm going to be hosting a whole bunch of people. It's really cool. So what's really cool about these distinctive voyages is, you know, all the agents who are in Travel Leaders Network, they can book into these things. And my job is just simply to be the host and to make sure that everybody's taken care of and everybody has a great time on the cruise. I am so freaking looking forward to this. It's going to be so much fun. So if you want to come join us, you know, you're not doing anything for Christmas, Hanukkah. We'll be back before the New Year, so we'll be back on the 30th. So you can be home for New Year's celebration, but we will be out certainly for Christmas, and I believe at least part of the Hanukkah celebration will be out at sea as well. I haven't looked up the Hanukkah calendar yet, but yeah. So if you want to come join us, there's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of a last minute deal, and actually the rates are pretty good for a 12-night cruise into the Caribbean for the holidays. It's a great cruise. Of course, the one we've been talking about a lot. And, you know, I'll remind you guys, if you've got questions, just go ahead and drop them into the comments. We will do our best to get you the answers. But while we're waiting, I'm going to walk you guys through.
Just so you know, Hanukkah's the 14th through the 22nd.
Oh, Hanukkah is December 14th. So we'll be at sea during Hanukkah as well.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. But I'm going to walk you through some of our group cruises while we wait on the questions. And if you've never tuned in before and you're wondering who that is, that's my lovely wife, Rebecca, just sitting off camera. She doesn't like to be on camera, but at least I was able to get her a microphone. She, for the longest time, she didn't even have a microphone. So another group that we're doing, and this one is actually starting to catch some traction. I'm so excited. We're going to do the best of Italy and Croatia in October of next year. I'm so excited. I'm going to spend some time in Italy first. Then we've got a 10-day cruise from Ravenna around to Civitavecchia. So we got Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and then Civitavecchia. So it is going to be amazing. That's a 10-night cruise around Italy. And then we're staying on the ship for the 15-night crossing to San Juan. So that's a full 25 days on the ship if you want to do the whole thing. But that is what we are doing. So come join us. Celebrity Constellation, October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. Celebrity Constellation, that is plus or minus 2,000 people, a nice small ship to go sail around in Italy. And then a nice small ship to come across with, too. It's going to be interesting to do the crossing on a smaller ship. Really, really excited about that. Mr. T wants to know, do we plan on sailing Brilliant Lady? That's what we were just talking about a little while ago. We will be on the Brilliant Lady out of New York City on September 10th for a 5-night cruise. We've got about 100 cabins on that one as part of a user conference. So I'm actually presenting at the user conference, and I'm also the travel agent for that particular sailing. And then October 3rd through the 16th, we're going to be on that big Quebec to Miami. It's a whole Canada New England cruise, and then we come down the Eastern Seaboard. We stop off in Charleston before we come into Miami. 13 nights. I don't know if the prices are still the same. I haven't looked today, but yesterday, the day before, it was like $3,500 for 2 people in a Central Sea Terrace for 13 nights. And that's all of your meals, your Wi-Fi, your gratuities, your soft drinks, your exercise classes, the group exercise classes, all included. So yeah, if anybody wants to go on that one, it's going to be amazing. The next group cruise, while I wait, let's see, do I have any other questions that I missed? No, I'm good at the moment. Hey, Nurse Tara, how are you? Nurse Tara, I'm going to see you on September 10th on the Brilliant Lady for sure. But we're going to Hawaii. Oh, boy, we were just talking about Hawaii for the past couple of weeks, weren't we? What an interesting situation in Hawaii. I'll tell you about the cruise, and then we'll talk about that. February 4th through the 20th, 2026, we're going to Hawaii on the Emerald Princess. It's going to be beautiful. We leave LA, we go to Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, Ensenada. Of course, we have to stop in Ensenada. We have 5 sea days out, 5 sea days back. So it's kind of like getting a transatlantic, but it's round trip. You have 10 full sea days. That's February 4th through the 20th, 2026. Rebecca and I are going to spend some time in Disneyland before. I've never been to Disneyland. And then we literally have to fly from LA to Miami to get on another cruise the next day. So that is the Hawaii cruise. Now, of course, you all saw, I did a TikTok on it, and you all saw what happened in Hawaii last week. Kind of a freak situation with the tsunami coming in, and all of a sudden the ship had to pull away. And I think the big lesson there for everybody is make sure that everybody in your party who has a mobile phone has that phone number in your cruise line profile, because as Norwegian said, they sent out a text immediately when they were given the order to go. So they left from what I saw, around 300 passengers were left on shore when the ship had to pull away. But a text was sent. And I know even with my own clients, I got a bunch of people that only have the phone number. They just have one phone number on file. Everybody else in the party doesn't have a phone number on file. So when the text was sent, the text would have only gone to that one person. So if you are traveling with multiple people and everybody has a mobile phone, make sure that mobile phone is in your cruise line profile. So in the case of emergencies like that, there was another situation, I think it was a couple of years ago with Holland America. They were in Israel and all of a sudden the hostilities broke out and they had to get the word out immediately to get everybody back to the ship so they could just untie and get away. They did not want to be in harbor while the hostilities had broken out. Again, another kind of a freak thing to be caught up in. But when something happens, when there's an emergency, when the ship has to get a hold of you, they're going to go ahead and send a text. So there's two things. One, you want them to have your phone number. Two, you want to at least be able to receive data wherever you are. So like we're with T-Mobile right now. I think there's some like 150, 175 countries that I can just simply go ahead and connect and all my data is free. So the ship can send me a text or they can send Rebecca a text. So just make sure everybody has a phone number on file with the cruise line when you're on a cruise, because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Nobody could have predicted that the earthquake was going to turn into a tsunami right there and enforce the ship, because the safest place for that ship was to get out of port. God forbid that wave came in, the ship was still there, and the wave picked up the ship and took it into land. I mean, my gosh, that would have been totally devastating. So, and then to cap all of that off, the ship did not go away. The ship did not strand them. It just went offshore. It had to go into deep water, let the wave pass through. And then as soon as the port authority said, you are safe to come back in, they came back in and they picked everybody back up. It was the next day. People had to shelter overnight. But I think it was a good lesson for all of us, something that we certainly never even really thought about, that, hey, everybody should have a phone because not everybody travels together. Some people might be on a ship. You might be doing separate excursions. And when that text goes out, you want to make sure everybody's going to get that text. So, hey, Silver Librarian, how are you? Good morning. Good morning.
Even if somebody's phone is having problems, then at least you got a backup of the other person being able to get the message.
Exactly. John said Princess staying pretty tight-lipped about the Star Princess. I don't know about that. They did announce all the entertainment, and we know all the restaurants. So, and the ship is on sale, I think, right? Yeah, because we've been selling it already. I don't know what exactly, John, that they're being tight-lipped about, but they have released a lot of the information about the ship. And I was kind of surprised that they released all that new entertainment that's coming to the ship, because they did that the last time and it wasn't ready. So I'm assuming this time is actually going to be ready. It did cost the president of Princess his job when that ship launched poorly. At least it kind of seems that way, because he lost his job right after that ship came out. But it looks like, the only thing I guess because that ship was so far along, it's kind of disappointing that the dome is still kind of what it is, right? The dome is so small, and especially when you go on the Star of the Seas. Now, there's no way they would have made a dome that big, but when you see what they did on the Star of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, with that overlook, it's kind of a blueprint for what could have been on Princess. Certainly a smaller version of it, but not quite as small as what they did on the dome.
Well, at least they've stopped trying to do full shows in there.
Yeah, from what we've been told, the shows are no longer in the dome. So I don't know. I haven't confirmed that, but from what I've been told, they ended the contract with that Cirque company, and they're not doing the shows in the dome. So it'll be interesting to see if the new dome even has all that theater lighting and everything in it. It may not this time. It looks like they're still doing the morning exercise classes in there, things like that, but it kind of sounds like the evening performances are gone. I could see that, like if they wanted to put like a string quartet in there or something, that would be nice.
Or even like a duo or a trio.
Yeah, something like that, like something quiet.
Yeah.
That would be kind of nice. But from what we understand, they've ended that Cirque contract with that company. It was just too hard to get in there. John, you'll have to look for that press release. They did release something about all the entertainment on the Star Princess. I can't remember. I think it came out last week. So But yeah, it should be a big, beautiful ship. Of course, the other things we're talking about too, the Lalita Loca Enchanted Princess is very close to being closed. In fact, I sent a note to Jenny this morning to find out if they want to close it because we're getting very close to it and it's getting full. So if you want to go with Tony and Jenny B, October 11th through the 18th on the Enchanted Princess this year, which is Canada, New England, make your decision soon because I have a feeling we're going to be closing that group pretty shortly. The one that is still open, though, the Philadelphia cruise, April 16th through the 23rd is going to be the first cruise out of Philadelphia in almost 20 years. We're going to be on the Norwegian Jewel, sailing to Bermuda, Charleston, South Carolina from Philadelphia. And we're going to be in Philadelphia for a couple of days doing like a food tour, a history tour, and other stuff like that. So if you want to come hang with us, so just get a hold of us at where'swaltertravel.com if you want to come with us. And wherever you're watching us, just go to where'swaltertravel.com and go to group travel. I've kind of run through these groups pretty quickly. The only thing that is not on our page at this moment is that Cunard Queen Elizabeth Christmas cruise that I mentioned at the top of the show. That is not there at the moment, but we'll work on getting that up there shortly. User 223, Royal Caribbean is now adding gratuities to the beverage package. Thoughts? I honestly haven't seen that, but if they are, good for them. About time.
Well, honestly, if it wasn't a separate line item, it was probably already buried in the price anyway. So now they're just separating it out.
Yeah. So I haven't looked at the new pricing to see what the new pricing is.
Well, it's hard with Royal because it's never the same price.
Yeah, that's true. But the gratuities were they in there the past? I don't even remember. Because you know why?
It wasn't a separate add-on charge. I don't believe. It was
buried in there. Yeah,
it was buried in the price.
So the thing about the beverage package, I'll say number one, we've never purchased it on Royal Caribbean. Because
it's just the alcoholic package.
Yeah, right. The alcoholic package, we've never purchased it because it's too expensive for us. We'll never drink that much. What we typically do on Royal Caribbean and what we recommend that most of our clients do is do the refreshment package. So that's going to give you sodas, mocktails, and coffees, and then just simply pay for the cocktails because I'll have maybe 2 cocktails a day, and that's it. So the whole beverage package is a waste. I believe the gratuity, I can't remember 100% because it's been so long since I purchased it, but I think the gratuities were always in the package. They were just buried in there. Now they're doing a separate line item to show you what the gratuities are. So, yeah. So I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've looked at that, so I'll have to go back and look at that. But the gratuities should be in there anyway. Anytime you buy a beverage package, they should be already in there because, I mean, that's kind of annoying just to have it added on because then why did you pay in advance for it, right? But yeah, those are my thoughts. You know, hopefully it's all in there. I just haven't looked at that in a while.
It enables that. What it enables Royal Caribbean to do is to make the base price of their drink package look lower. Cheaper.
Yeah, make the base package.
And a lot of other cruise lines do add when you purchase the package. There is a separate gratuity item added.
Does that.
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
I can't remember who does that, but yeah, there's somebody else that, in fact, might have been friggin' Royal. I don't know, but there was somebody. Was it Royal? I can't remember. But yeah, there's another cruise line when we add the drink package to somebody, they drop the gratuities in once it goes into the cart. So I'm trying to remember who that is. We work with so
might be Carnival.
Oh, was it Carnival? Oh yeah, it might be Carnival. It might be. So
I don't know.
SL. Yeah, hey SL, how are you, man? Good to see you. Hello, Scotland, right? Scotland? Yeah, Scotland. How are you? Such good advice to make sure all members of a group have shared phone number. Be prepared. Absolutely. You know, and it's just something that we really didn't think about that much, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, you know, we're all going to be off on an excursion together. We'll have plenty of time. But in this case, you know, with the tsunami, it was like, you got to go. You got to go now. Pull the gangway in, drop the rope, and get out of our harbor. That's basically what it was. So yeah, yeah. Nurse Tara said, I thought the gratuity was already included on RCL. And Nurse Tara had been on Royal Caribbean just recently as well. But yeah, I believe the gratuities were always in with Royal Caribbean. It's just now they're trying to make their package look cheaper by pulling them out and then just showing you how much they are. So yeah. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We're spending this hour answering your questions about all things cruising. So feel free to drop your questions in, and we invite you to like, subscribe, share, do all those wonderful things that the partners like for you to do. And I will remind you that our services are 100% free to use. So if we can help you in any way with your travels, we do cruises, we do land, we do luxury, we do expedition. You can reach out to us, where'swaltertravel.com. Wherever you're watching us, there are links in my bio and my description to set up an appointment with us. So just set up an appointment and we'll be happy to hop on a call. So Eric wants to know, are there stage shows on the Emerald Princess? Yes. I can't see any on the app. You won't see them until we get much closer to the cruise. I believe at one point they had.
I don't even know if they show up till you get into.
Yeah, I can't remember if they're even going to show up until we get on the ship.
Yeah, I think it's only when you're connected to the ship Wi-Fi.
I think
because
so.
you can't make reservations. You can't,
Right.
And I know Eric has the premier package, so you'll have reserved seating area. So you will have no problems.
But at one point, a little magic was the show on that ship, and that's actually one of my favorite shows that Princess does. It's a really cool show. So Patty, you need important info about the Carnival Sunshine. You need hotel close to the pier where you can leave the car. I don't know where the Sunshine is sailing out of, but usually if you can if you find a hotel near the pier, usually in the amenities, it will say something like, cruise shuttle, airport shuttle, things like that is the best way. Norfolk, I don't have any. I've never sailed anybody out of Norfolk, Virginia. If anybody has anybody watching this has advice for a hotel in Norfolk, Virginia, please drop it in the chat so we can get it to Patty. But she's sailing out of Norfolk and needs a hotel with where they can leave the car there. So I honestly don't know. I've never sailed anybody out of Norfolk. So looks like a cool little port. So hello. Do we plan on going back to Alaska? Yes. We're talking about a group. We're thinking about a group in 2027. We're not sure. We were looking at both Explora and Silversea at one point. We're kind of going back and forth, trying to figure it out. So maybe we're not sure. We know. So what we know we're doing in 2027 is a Christmas markets river cruise. We absolutely know that we're going to do that. And that will be in the first week of December, 2027. We're waiting. Ama Waterways did actually drop some itineraries on the Danube, but Rebecca's kind of leaning towards the Rhine. So we're waiting to see some more itineraries drop from the Rhine for 2027. But we are going back to Alaska for sure. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's the first thing I said when we got back. I'm like, we can't wait that long. I mean, it was, how many years was it?
We went, first time is in 2008.
Yeah, so we went 2008 and then 2025. That's just way too long. So I think we need to go about every 2 or 3 years. It is just so freaking beautiful up there. And what we really fell in love with this time with Alaska were the small ports. Yes, it was nice to go to Juneau and Ketchikan, but dang, did we really enjoy, Klawock and Sitka, Haines, Wrangell, Icy Strait Point. Even Icy Strait Point is actually kind of a big port, but we really, really enjoyed the small ports. It felt like, we were getting a little bit more of an authentic Alaska experience. So when we go back, we're going to be focusing in on some of those smaller ports as well, again, for the next time. So hopefully, we'll be going back up there in 2027, maybe 2028. We'll see. So, Mr. T, what is a Christmas market cruise? So that is it's one of the most popular river cruises in Europe. So all throughout Europe, they have these beautiful Christmas markets. Austria, Germany, France, Budapest, like just all up and down. You got the Rhine River, you got the Danube River, and there are these Christmas markets. Some of them are very small, some of them are very big.
Some cities have multiple markets.
Huh?
Some cities have multiple markets.
Yeah, some cities have multiple markets, and it's like your childhood fantasy and Hallmark all come together, all into one, and they are just absolutely freaking stunning. And so we're going to be going over there. It's probably the most popular river cruise that we sell, certainly. And the downside to them, they tend to be quite a bit more expensive because it's only a 4-week window, out of 52 weeks out of a year, it's only a 4-week window that they run them. They start up right around December 1st, and then they end on December 22nd. Usually, maybe they start like November 30th, somewhere in there. So it's a very tight window. And so they tend to be a little bit more expensive. So we're going to go over.
And the ships are small.
Yeah, the ships are only 100 to 150 people. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more expensive to do those. But we're going to do it. We're going to absolutely do it. I mean, we cannot wait to go over there. It looks spectacular. I mean, for me, it's going to be like a totally like Hallmark moment. I mean, I'm thinking about the Black Forest. I want to go into the Black Forest. We are probably, because Rebecca's a huge Sound of Music fan, so we'll probably do.
I don't know, because
Sound of Music
you're
tour?
talking two different rivers here.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
Black Forest is more the Rhine.
Yeah, that's true.
The Danube is more.
That's true.
So
that's true. Yeah. Coco wants to know, have we ever met Amy Bradley in our travels? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. If anything, we would have probably run into them on the Icon of the Seas preview, but not that I can remember. Chris, how are you? Good to see you. Rick is going to go to the Pink Agave for your 30th anniversary on the Resilient Lady. That's going to be lovely, Rick. I'll tell you, it is something with these ships and how they're fine. I think Virgin Voyages is finally hitting a stride. They're finally figuring out what it takes to really run the cruise line well, and to they can't satisfy everybody, right? But they're figuring out. Well, one big thing they figured out was, we can't have 4 identical ships. That's boring.
For 100% identical.
Yeah, 100% identical. We can't have 100% identical ships. We need to go in there and start making some modifications, which they have been doing. I'm very excited to see, the Lucky Lotus show up on the Scarlet Lady, and now Brilliant Lady's getting Rojo, which we're going to be trying Rojo. Gosh, in just a couple of months now.
Well, we have it booked. I already have it booked for our the 5-day.
Mm-hmm.
And bookings for the Canada one don't open for, I think,
Canada
later this month.
Quite as important. It's 13 nights, so it's going to be really easy to get any of the dining that we want to get on that one. That's the really exciting thing about 13 nights on Virgin Voyages. We can try everything, and we can try it multiple times. It's so exciting, so exciting.
And I was very excited to see in Extra Virgin now, if you look at the menus. They have certain dishes which are exclusive to specific ships.
Yeah, they're going to start doing that now too. I think all of the restaurants are going to start doing that. Where on Virgin Voyages, Extra Virgin, on each ship will have specific dishes just for that ship. I would not be surprised. Pink Agave is probably going to do the same thing. They'll probably do that on all of the ships, where there will be very specific dishes. The bulk of the menu will be the same on all the restaurants, but then they will have unique dishes for each ship. They'll probably start doing unique dishes based on the itinerary, which that'll be cool as well. That's another thing that I love about doing the small ships in Alaska. For 2 days on the Oceania Riviera, we had fresh salmon that they brought in from one of the ports in Alaska. And that was absolutely insane. They were cutting it up and cooking it right there at the grill. It was absolutely amazing. So I bet they'll start to do that. So Bills fan, what a great question. You're doing a cruise next year out of Rome. What's the earliest return flight you should book after disembarking? Well, that's a really good question. For those of you who don't know, when you go to Rome on a cruise ship, you're going to go into Civitavecchia, which is approximately 1 hour away from the main city of Rome, kind of like Port Canaveral and Orlando. I'm trying to remember where exactly the airport is in relation to the city, but I would give yourself probably 5 hours minimum from whatever your time is that you're coming in.
Yeah, because with the international flight in particular, you want to
international
get
flights
there early.
Now, what you are going to find, especially flying back, the better flights are early. So a lot of our guests will stay overnight, because there's a lot of great flights that go out like a 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning, which you're not going to be able to do with coming into Civitavecchia. So if you can, my recommendation would just be simply stay overnight in Rome for the night and then catch an early flight out, because there generally are earlier flights going out. They tend to be a little bit better. But if you are going to, let's say your ship is scheduled to arrive in Civitavecchia at 7, I would give 5 hours, plenty of time to catch your ride. The other thing that some of our guests have been doing, obviously whatever cruise line you're on, you should have a transfer that will get you from the ship up to the airport. Now, Sue and Phil are saying it took 45 minutes in a private transfer. That's something that we've been doing for guests as well. We've been booking private transfers, which will get you there. So if you get off the ship early and you get right up there, there's no traffic. Sue and Phil are saying 45 minutes is all it took them to get there. I would still allocate, 4 to 5 hours just in case, because the last thing you want to be
traffic, accidents,
running and trying to get there and all of that. So yeah. So I see we have a couple questions about Rojo on the Brilliant Lady. Yeah, so Rojo is the new Razzle Dazzle restaurant in the evening. It is a Spanish tapas restaurant debuting on the Brilliant Lady when she launches on September 5th. So during the day, you'll still have your Razzle Dazzle brunch, but then at night, it's going to be Rojo, the Spanish tapas restaurant. They just finished it. Nirmal has promised us the tour of it very shortly. So hopefully this week, we're going to see the video tour because Nirmal, the CEO of Virgin Voyages, it has been on the ship. They've been finishing it up. If you didn't see, they actually took the ship back into dry dock. Ship basically done. Brilliant Lady was basically done. She's ready to go. She's ready to sail. But they took it back into dry dock and actually ripped up all of Razzle Dazzle and actually redid it. So now it's going to be Rojo in the evenings, which will be your Spanish tapas restaurant. So yeah, that is a new restaurant. Just like Scarlet Lady got the Lucky Lotus Asian restaurant, the Brilliant Lady is going to have Rojo Spanish tapas. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So, Sue and Phil, you guys that's right. You were on that land-based vacation. So it took you 45 minutes in a private transfer to get from the center of Rome to the airport. So from Civitavecchia, it could take you 2 hours. So that's right, guys. You were on that. You were on that land tour. Totally forgot about that. So, but yeah, on Brilliant Lady. So, and then what's left now? Valiant and Resilient. When they go back in for their dry docks, they're going to do something with Razzle Dazzle on those ships as well. We cannot. We simply don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm hopeful for a Greek restaurant. I think that would be kind of cool to have a Greek restaurant, and certainly an Indian restaurant would be amazing. And when you go on a lot of British cruise lines, they have Indian restaurants. In fact, we noticed that Queen Elizabeth has a pop-up Indian restaurant in the buffet. So we're looking forward to trying that. Really want to try that. So where can you find good offers for cruises? Well, the best offers for cruises are generally when they go on sale. Like literally when they first go on sale. Cruise lines are really rewarding guests for booking early. And then, working with a travel advisor is always a good way to do it too. I mean, there's all these cheap cruise websites out there, yada, yada, yada. We have the exact same prices. The only way we don't have the same price is if there is a group space still available that they have access to. But I have shown multiple times on my videos how, there are certain cheap cruise websites out there to say, we're the cheapest, get the best deal. And I show you side by side, we actually get the exact same price. They're just presenting it differently. They're making it look cheaper than ours. But once you add in all the fees, it's the exact same price as ours. So working with a travel agent can certainly help. One of the things we do, we have a whole list from our clients. Hey, if you see this, hey, if you see that, if you see this thing, if you see that thing, let us know. And so we do have a list. And when we see certain things come across, like Holland America is going to be dropping their Alaska 2027 on the 5th, which is in 2 days. We had a list of guests who were like, hey, when 2027 Alaska comes out, let me know. So we did. And I've got 2 or 3 appointments already booked for the 5th. So we can go in there right away and grab those staterooms. The other cool thing is, and a lot of people don't think about this, on most cruise lines, not every single one of them, but on most cruise lines, I can book you today, and right up until final payment, as the rate goes down, I can either change it myself or I can call in and have the rate changed. So there is security in that too. If you want the best inventory, you want to be able to pick the best room on the ship. You do that early, and then anytime we see that the price has gone down, on most, not every single cruise line, but on most cruise lines, we can have that rate adjusted. And even in some cases, even after final payment, they might give you onboard credit. That's rare, and sometimes. So, yeah. Mimi says that Lucky Lotus on Scarlet Lady was awesome. We can't wait for the Rojo on the Brilliant Lady. You love an Indian restaurant. I know we really want an Indian restaurant, really, really bad. We really want to have that, an Indian restaurant. And then, like I said, we just saw that on the Queen Elizabeth. So if anybody wants to come with us on the Queen Elizabeth for Christmas, they have an Indian pop-up in the buffet. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, they do 3 different pop-ups. They do an Asian one, an Italian one, and an Indian one.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as we love Italian food, that one looks the least interesting.
Yeah, we probably won't do that one. So the Queen Elizabeth only has one specialty restaurant. It's a steakhouse. And so in lieu of building more restaurants, they just do 3 pop-ups in the buffet. And then we saw the Indian restaurant. We're like, oh my God, we're so excited. So to do that. Hey, Scotty, how are you? John is saying Virgin Voyage should spend money and time removing those nets and adding an infinity pool on the app. It would be a game changer for the brand. So I've had multiple discussions about that very thing. John's saying what I've been saying for a very long time, which is I don't know why they put the nets in the back of the Virgin Voyages ships. Should have put a pool back there, especially if you see the Prima class from Norwegian Cruise Line. That's exactly what it could have looked like for Virgin Voyages. And what I was told, I had conversations about this with Nirmal and with some others, and they said actually the pool was in some of the initial drawings. There was a pool back there in the back of the lady ships from Virgin Voyages. They opted not to do it. To do it now would it's basically cost prohibitive to do it right now because water weighs so much. They would have to re-engineer the entire back of the ship. So the odds of that happening are incredibly slim to the current lady ship. Now, perhaps if they build another lady ship, we might see that. But I have been told that the odds of ever replacing that net with a pool are very, very slim. So I said, well, in lieu of that, why don't you just cover the net and maybe, make like a bandstand back there or something where we could set it up like a live outdoor venue. That would be kind of cool. So you could have some music outside, maybe back there or something like that. But yes, John, I agree that they should have built pools back there, but they didn't. They put that net and they're stuck with that net. There's really not a whole lot they can do without completely re-engineering the whole back of that ship. And I have been told it's cost prohibitive to even think about it. And especially with water. Water is so heavy. So it also will throw the whole ship out of balance. And they've got there's so much. Yeah, it started to make my head hurt as they were explaining everything that would have to be done just to add a pool. It's like so much that had to be redone on the whole ship just to add a pool. So Darren saying the galley has Indian food during the food festival and they had daily specials of Indian food. Yeah, the galley on Virgin Voyages very often will have like butter chicken and some other things like that.
At night.
And yeah, I really, really would love to see Virgin add a true Indian restaurant.
Yeah, to have a whole sit-down restaurant with, appetizers
and
nice. Mains. And
I would not be surprised if one of the ships gets it. It seems to be a pretty popular request on the cruise line. So I would not be surprised to see either Valiant or Resilient get it. My money would be on Resilient getting it. I don't know why, but I just think Resilient might get it. So SL, do we have any thoughts on activities for a few hours in Civitavecchia between your flight arrival and embarkation? Well, I don't have specific thoughts on that, offhand. I'd have to go look up some of the things, but there are some absolutely, beautiful, there's like beautiful architecture. There's certainly food, things like that to do. We actually have a partner now that works with us to basically put together day trips. Like they can pick you up from the airport and then go off and do some things. And it's, they're all over the world. But I mean, basically in Civitavecchia, here's the advice I will give you. And this is from 2 of our favorite clients. Get your guide. I'm assuming that you have access to that in Scotland, but it's called Get Your Guide. There's an app, there's a website, and they swear by this app. And we started looking at it, and they really do have great tours and really interesting things to do that we don't see on a lot of the other tour sites and things like that. So I'd probably look at Get Your Guide. and see what they're showing in Civitavecchia. I remember one time looking at that for another client, and I was like, man, there's some really interesting restaurants here. There's some interesting architecture. There are really interesting places to go. It's not just a cruise port. So yeah, that's what I would do. I'd go ahead and look at Get Your Guide. That's what I would do. Good morning, Douglas. Any idea when we'll hear more about Celebrity River Cruises? Well, thanks for bringing up a painful memory. No, I'm just kidding. So, for those of you who follow along, I was in training 2 weeks ago. And the big announcement that was supposed to happen at that training was we were going to get a whole course on Celebrity River Cruises. Well, about 2 weeks before the event, we were told, guess what? Celebrity's not going to talk about it. They're not ready to talk about it. So, we don't know. We don't know. We were going to be the first ones to get the whole lowdown on the river cruises 2 weeks ago. So I don't know. I will say, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do. But if they follow through with what some of their initial thoughts were, which was we're going to kind of run it like the ocean, where you're going to pay one price to get on the ship, and then you're going to pay for your Wi-Fi, you're going to pay for your gratuities, you're going to pay for your drinks, you're going to pay for your meals, you're going to pay. It's like they're going to just tack everything on. Whereas most of these river cruise lines, they're mostly or completely all inclusive. So, it's going to be one of those things, kind of like some of the ocean cruise lines, where hey, this cruise line's a lot cheaper than this cruise line to get on the ship, but then to get off the ship, it's like, okay, once I added all these other things, suddenly it would have been cheaper if I'd just taken that cruise line that was more expensive up front because they had everything included. So I'm still waiting to see what exactly is going to be included, what's not going to be included, how this is going to work. I personally would not want to be on them in the beginning. I would want to wait until they've been running maybe for a year, let them figure it all out. And then the other thing we don't know is how's the status match going to work. Because, these ships only carry 100, 150 people versus, a 3,000 to 7,000 passenger ship. So we don't know how the whole status match thing is going to work. Because if you status match everybody into the rivers, you may not be able to book a river cruise for like the first 10 years with, all the people who may jump onto it. That's what I think Celebrity's counting on. I think Celebrity's counting on their status match thing to encourage people to go in and do these river cruises, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, it's a wait and see. We don't know. We're still booking. Primarily we book Alma Waterways, Avalon Waterways, Uniworld, Riverside. Starting to look a little bit more at Emerald. Haven't really looked at Emerald all that much, but Emerald is actually kind of like right in that same price range. And if you're a solo traveler, oh my goodness, Riviera Travel is just unbelievable. They run complete solo departures. So they have something like, 70 cabins on a river ship, and every one of them is a solo traveler on like 30 or 40 departures every single year. That's amazing. So, and Riviera is the most solo friendly of all the river cruise companies too. So that's really cool. So yes, John, you and I both. John saying he loves what Celebrity is doing to renovate the Solstice class ships. I am really, really excited. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with these Solstice class ships. If you haven't seen, it looks like Celebrity is going to drop about $250 million into each of the ships to really renovate the heck out of these Solstice class ships. They are gorgeous ships as they are right now, but now they're going to bringing some of the Edge class features onto those ships. They're getting a big splashy new name on the side, which is going to be really cool. They're all moving into that big X on them. Still waiting for the Millennium class ships to get their new paint schemes. A lot of those are still white, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so Celebrity is really doubling down on those Solstice class ships because they are absolutely gorgeous as they are. Now they're going to modernize them. They're going to renovate them, and they're going to drop some of those Edge class features. I know some of the restaurants are going to be changing. The Retreat is getting some new stuff. The Lawn Club is going to change around a little bit. So yeah, I really love what they're doing. So it's going to be exciting. Oh, good, SL. Yeah, go ahead, try out that Get Your Guide. I hope it works. So, but yeah, now Celebrity, man, they're a very interesting cruise line. They're still coming out with all these big Edge class ship, but it is nice that they're going to invest some money. I hope they're going to keep investing the money on the Millennium class ships because those are a huge fan favorite out there. Just like the one that we're going to be on, Celebrity Constellation, in October. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Not a biscuit. When's the best time to book an Alaska cruise for next summer? That would have been last summer when they first opened up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be mean, but yeah, they've been selling since last summer. They opened up around August of last year. And depending on how many people, which cruise line, which ship, which itinerary, there are certain, Alaska departures that are completely sold out already for 26. We're going to start selling 27 next week. Explora has been open for a month now for 2027. So if you want to book an Alaska cruise for next summer, and especially if you're looking for something that's more than just one room with 2 people, get a hold of me now. Like, go ahead and book an appointment for today, and let's go ahead and take a look at what's out there. Especially if you're talking about, that June through August timeframe. There's a lot of stuff that's already sold out. So get a hold of us. Alaska, again, is another small window. The good news is, I guess, for people who are booking a little bit later, is that, there's over 100 ships in Alaska now during the heart of the season. That is just absolutely insane. So you do have more choices for next year. But even Virgin Voyages, you got Virgin Voyages going up there next year. We got Azamara returning next year. So just depending on what you want to do, certainly just reach out. We can still get you. We can still get you on there, but it's getting harder and harder to get folks on in Alaska 2026. So yeah. Nurse Tara saying she loved the Long Club on the Solstice class. They are really, it's a beautiful space on there. I do love that. So Celebrity Constellation is the ship that will be on October 23rd through November 2nd of next year in Italy, if you want to come join us. So, we'll get that back up there and get this back over here. Some comments. By the way, if somebody was trying to ask me a question about Virgin Voyages, I'll remind you, you got to use letters VV on TikTok. You cannot use the word Virgin. So I see something with blocked. So if you were trying to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, that's what happened. Make sure you don't do that. What else has happened in Rebecca? Oh, yeah. So if you did not hear right off the top of the show, we're going to be cruising for Christmas. If you want to come join us, I will be in a tuxedo. Yes, I will be in a tuxedo. I might even wear it for the cocktail reception just because once you buy a tuxedo, then you want to wear it all the time. We're going to be on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth December 18th through the 30th this year. Round trip Miami, 12 nights for the holidays. So we'll be on board for the back half of Hanukkah. We'll be on board for Christmas. We will be back before the New Year, though. You'll be celebrating New Year's at home, which will be nice. Or you can stay in Miami, celebrate New Year in Miami. But we're going to go to San Juan, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Martin, Tortola. Very excited about Tortola because when we went there just recently on the Norwegian Aqua, we didn't have enough time to do the excursion that we really like. I think this time we're actually going to have the time to go out and do this catamaran excursion that I really love. So we're going to be celebrating Christmas British style. This was not something we planned on, but I am now a Distinctive Voyages host, and we got selected for this sailing. So we're going to do it. We're going to have some fun. So come join us. I mean, Cunard is just one of those cruise lines. Like, everybody should go on Cunard at least once. Yes, you do have to dress up. Yeah, you got to get a little bit more fancy, but that's okay. That's totally okay.
Well, you don't have to. You
don't have to.
You can eat in their buffet and in the evenings and not dress up.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain things like ballroom dancing. If you want to go dancing on formal nights, you've got to be dressed up. In fact, you might have to be dressed up every night to go dancing. I believe
you have to follow whatever the dress code for the evening is.
If you want to go see the shows, you don't need to be dressed up. If you want to go to the buffet, you don't need to be dressed up. But to go to certain restaurants and certain nights, yes, you do have to be dressed up on Cunard. You have to follow the dress code. And I don't wear suits, so I'm just going to get a tuxedo. But I think it'd be more fun. I mean, I always see Gary Bembridge in his tuxedos, and they look so nice. I'm like, I'm going to get a tuxedo. That'd be nice, right? Right. I think it'd be great. I've just stunned Rebecca into silence. She's like, yep, sure, whatever.
Means I have to go shopping too.
Yeah, that's true. Rebecca's going to go shopping too. So
I have nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I can barely make their casual. They're more, I forget what they call them. I know the formal nights are called gala nights. I can't remember what every other night is called, but
I don't
I
know.
barely can get dressed up enough for that with my current wardrobe.
I know. I'm really starting to get excited about this Philadelphia thing. I've reached out to a couple of tour companies, and we've started the discussions going back and forth. Got 2 really good food tours. So the Philadelphia cruise is kind of an interesting animal because it's Thursday to Thursday. So we sail out on a Thursday, we come back on a Thursday. So it's like, okay, what do we do? So Tony, Jenny B, myself, Rebecca, and now about 40 other folks, we're all going to fly in on Monday. And we're going to spend Tuesday and Wednesday exploring Philadelphia. So I've got a food tour that I'm lining up. I found a really cool history tour as well. So if folks want to explore Philadelphia for a couple of days with it, I'm really starting to get excited about this Philly cruise. Not to mention that we got like 230 people going on that one. That one's going to be insane. It's going to be fun to manage, y'all. But I know Tony and Jenny B are really happy we're coming on that one, so we can help manage all of that. So yeah, John, you might be able to join it. I mean, it's going to be fun. So it's the Norwegian Jewel. It's not the big ship. In fact, if any of you have Hallmark Channel or Hallmark Plus, they just did a 4-part series on their Christmas cruise, which I really wish I could have been a part of. Basically the same ship. It was done on the Norwegian Gem. This is the Norwegian Jewel, sister ship. So you can actually kind of see what the ship is. It's an older ship. It's a smaller ship. It's got to be small. We're going underneath 2 bridges. I'm really looking forward to this because the food tour looks really good. And then we've got this history tour that we're looking at, and they're the only tour company that has this one extra thing in the history museum. So we're pretty excited about that. Of course, if you want to go and do your own thing, you can go do your own thing. But I'm really starting to get excited about this Philadelphia cruise. I mean, first cruise out of Philadelphia. I'm telling you right now, people, whoever's coming with us, you better bring your patient pants with you because it is probably going to be a complete cluster getting on that ship. It's the first time. Right? First time with anything. It's like they can do all the planning in the world they want, but until everybody starts coming in, yeah. So fortunately, we're all going to be on a bus. We're all coming in on the same bus, so we all get to suffer together on a bus. We don't have to deal with driving in. We're going to have a bus. We've got 2 group hotels set up in Philadelphia, and I'm going to have a transfer service, a shuttle service from each one of those, take everybody to the cruise ship. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So tour the U.S. Mint and also a quick trip to Atlantic City. Atlantic City is not where.
Yeah, I don't think that's
I really
happening.
Want to go. I know it's better now, but
well, plus we're not going to have a car, so
yeah, we're not going to have a car. So, but the U.S. Mint, yeah, that does sound like a cool place to go visit. So, Kathy, Philly at the food tour before the cruise. Yeah, so all the tours we're talking about up in Philadelphia, they're going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. The cruise starts on Thursday. So,
although I
quite figured it out exactly what's going to happen on what day, but there will be one set of tours on Tuesday and one set of tours on Wednesday.
And I do know there are good food tours in Charleston as well.
Yeah. So we may do that. Now, I don't know. I can't remember how much time we have in Charleston, but on the Virgin Voyages cruise, we have 12 hours in Charleston. So that would be a good day to go do a food tour. I don't know how much. I think we're going to have pretty good time in on this one as well because we have a sea day on both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not be surprised because Charleston is really not all that far from Philadelphia by water, and we have a whole sea day. Get up there. So hopefully it'll be a good long stop on that one. So yeah. So John's asking you to call Roy so he can come on the cruise with us. Sure, we can do that. No problem. But yeah, no, if you want to join any, I keep showing these group cruises. If you want to join any of these group cruises, they are on our website. The Cunard cruise technically is not our group cruise, is a distinctive voyage, which are voyages presented by our travel consortium that have extra benefits for you just for booking through us. If you book directly through Cunard, you do not get the free shore excursion, you don't get the dedicated host, and you don't get the welcome reception. Book through us, we put you into that distinctive voyage, and suddenly you get all these extra amenities for absolutely no charge. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be Christmas. We were already planning to be home for Christmas this year, and then we got this assignment. It's so cool. And not only do we get the assignment, but we're going to be on the Queen Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, Cunard Queen Elizabeth. I've always wanted to go on a Cunard cruise. Never thought I would. Always watched Gary do it, with his lovely tuxedo and everything. But But yeah, so December 18th through the 30th, you're going to get a distinctive voyage host. That'll be me. You get a welcome reception. There's a cocktail welcome reception. And then we have a shore excursion in St. Lucia. So all of that is included with the cruise fare when you book through me, and I place you into that distinctive voyage. If you're booking this through Cunard, you don't get any of those benefits because Cunard cannot offer those to you. They're only offered through the consortium. So it should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And make sure you guys tune in, the week of August 31st. I'm going to be on the Star of the Seas with Stephanie. She's going to force me to post a lot more social media than I've been doing on the last couple of cruises. Especially in Alaska. I didn't post near as much as I thought I would.
Well, we had a lot going on.
We had 34 people on the ship, so we were enjoying, we were really, I really tried to enjoy time.
And we did we did excursions at every port.
We were off the ship so much. I have so much content that I need to get out from that Oceania Riviera cruise from Alaska. We just had so much fun, ate everything, did the zip. Well, you guys all saw the zip line. I got that one out there because that was insane. That was so much fun. So, and I encourage all of you, if you can do it. Now, the thing about that zip line in Icy Strait Point, it is a very hard stop. If you have a bad back, if you have any neck issues, don't do it. Don't do it. The ride itself is wonderful. You're just sitting on a chair, gliding down the cable. But then when you stop.
If you are pregnant, don't do it.
I think the only way that they could make it any better would be some sort of a net or something so that you just didn't snap up in the air. But it is a hard stop at the end. Not to say I wouldn't do it again. I would have gone right back up and did it a second time. But I didn't. I wish I would have. But yeah, it is a hard stop. So that's just the only downside to the whole thing. But man, I had a blast. Totally want to do it again.
Well, and you did say the gondola ride up was a little.
I thought the gondola ride up was scarier than the actual zip, because on the zip you don't have time to think about it, but on the gondola you're just kind of swinging around, going up there and all that good stuff. So, let's see, party at 1, Charleston, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, so we got a lot of good time. Let you know about the pre-cruise in Philly. Yes, it's going to be amazing. And then Cunard, unlike anything else, got to do it at least once. I'm telling you, I think everybody's got to try Cunard at least one time. It is like, it's the cruise line that we all know of, right? So if we're in Charleston from 11 to 7, there should be plenty of time to do the food tour there. The Philadelphia pre-cruise. So we've got 2 group hotels that we're booking April 13th through the 16th, or just April 15th and 16th if you just want to come in one night. This is for 2026. And then on the 14th and 15th, we're going to set up like a food tour one day and a history tour the next day. These tours are only going to be like between 2 and 4 hours. So only going to be a half a day. And then you've got the other half of the day to go out and explore for yourself. You don't have to come on the cruise on these tours. They're totally optional. But I think the best way to explore just about any new place is a food tour, because you're with a local. You get to try places that you probably never would have found if you didn't do this. And then if you want suggestions, you're hanging out with a local. So you can just say, hey, I'm looking for, like in San Juan, we always have people, there's a great food tour down there called Flavors of San Juan. And we always have people like, yeah, I'm looking for some good cigars. I'm looking for a good hat. I'm looking for a good rum. I'm looking for a good, and the tour guide knows exactly where to go. Like, oh yeah, you want some really good hats, go down this street, turn around, blah, blah. So they tell you where to find places. And it'll be the same in Philadelphia. The locals are going to know if we want to get a certain something, or we want to go see something in Philly, they're going to know exactly how to get there. So I really love doing that. And the 2 hotels that we chose are both in Rittenhouse Square. So we're really in that downtown area where I don't even think we're going to need a vehicle to get to. Well, I know we don't need a vehicle to get to the food tour, because the food tour literally starts a couple blocks from the hotel. I don't know about the history tour.
Well,
but yeah, so that's what's going to be going on.
I mean, it's definitely walkable as long as you have decent mobility.
Yeah. Some people might need a car or something.
Because the historic center is probably maybe a 15-minute walk. Mm-hmm. So it's not far, but you know, you do have to be mobile.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of the things that Tony and I talked about when he first picked the cruise. because he said he wanted to, when I saw that the cruise was on Thursday, I said, you know what we should do? We should go up on Monday, spend a couple of days. And Tony's like, I've never been to Philly. That'd be great. So we did that. And then we kind of opened it up to everybody to say, hey, if you want to come along, this is what we're doing. I think we got about 40 people coming in on Monday. So that should be really nice. Now the tour, what's really cool about the tours only do 12 to 16. So they're going to be small tours. We're going to just do multiple, like if we have 40 people, we'll have like 3 or 4 food tours going out. And that's going to be kind of cool. They keep them small. It's not like we're going to have 40 people trying to do a food tour because that gets a bit unwieldy. So the food tour is only going to be grouped to 12 and the history tour is only going to be grouped to 16. So that's going to make it even nicer because they're smaller groups. Tours are always better when it's on a smaller group. So it should be a lot of fun. So, yeah, so that's the deal. And if you want any more information about the tour, if you're booked on that cruise and you have not received the information from me about the hotel, please do reach out. I have tried everything I can to get the emails out to everybody regarding that with the hotels. I know there's still a couple people like, I didn't get that stuff about the hotels. Like, sorry, I've been trying to send out emails to everybody. Sometimes they get blocked. I just can't help that. So SL, you're looking forward to seeing more from the Alaska trip. I know. I'm looking forward to seeing more from the Alaska trip. If you want to see what it looked like, I've already put up 3 of my virtual cruises on YouTube. So they're between 2 and 3 hours long. I've got the sail away from Seattle. I got some of the sailing through the Inside Passage. I just loaded up a sunset that I just put up there. I think the coolest video that I'm going to be putting up there was the sail in to Victoria. It was so foggy. Twice during that cruise, they had to use the foghorn. It was so foggy, like you literally could not see anything. But on the sail in to Victoria, I had the camera facing forward, and we're just in complete fog. I haven't even watched the video back yet. And then at some point, just suddenly, boop, we're out of the fog coming on in. So I cannot wait to see that. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, so Kathy, you're on the cruise, but Pat lives in Coachville. Yeah. So you don't need a hotel, but if you want to come in for the tours, absolutely. Once I have the tours finalized, I will be sending that information to everybody who has signed up on the cruise, because I do know there's quite a few people coming locally. Becca's mom is coming locally onto the cruise. She's going to be in the cabin right next to ours. Yay. I like her mom. Her mom's a lot of fun. Here's a little known fact. If you are on a Norwegian cruise ship and you would like to open up the balconies, their answer will be no. They will not open up the balcony dividers because they cite fire hazard, and they won't do it. They're the only cruise line I know of that will not open the balconies. They will open them when you're in port, but what's the point? In port, you're off the ship. So if you're planning on getting like a couple of balconies together and you're like, hey, we're going to open them up and turn them into one big balcony like we did on the Carnival Mardi Gras, like most people can do, Norwegian Cruise Line will not open up those dividers. They're going to keep them closed. So, oh, darn. Can't have the mother-in-law just out there hanging with us. You're going to have to wave to her around the divider. Darn. I do love her mom. We get along really, really well. I'm actually really excited she's coming along. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be our second time cruising with her. She was the one who told us all about the Oceania Riviera because she was on that ship over in the Mediterranean, gave us all kinds of great advice on the Oceania Riviera. So it's kind of fun. I think it's fun cruising with family members. I've been desperately trying to get my 2 sisters who have never been on a cruise, trying to get them to come with us. Would be nice. Would be nice to get them to come along. But we'd love to have you guys come along on a cruise with us sometime. I mean, we've got a bunch of group cruises going right now. What's kind of funny is, every time we have group cruises, oh yeah, what else are you going to do? It's like we've got 5 or 6 right now. You come join us on one of them. But 2027, we're probably going to just do 2 that year, maybe 1.
Well,
I'm not sure.
1 or 2 for us personally. There may be another one from Tony and Jenny. Maybe.
Tony sounds like, I know one thing about Tony for sure that we've kind of talked about. He wants to start making the groups a little smaller, I think. Because, when you have these really big groups, it's really fun, right? We're going to have over 230 people on the Norwegian Jewel. And what's nice about that one, we got 3 sea days. So there is plenty of time for Tony and Jenny and everybody to meet and do all of that. But on the Enchanted Princess, only 1 sea day. And it makes it a little harder, to do things with everybody. So, and Tony always wants to make sure that, if you guys are coming on a cruise with them, that you get to spend time with them. He's such a nice guy. He's one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet out on the water. So if you ever do see him, make sure you say hello. But he's so incredibly kind, so incredibly nice. And he's like, I think I might just want to start making the group maybe just a little bit smaller so we can spend more time with everybody. And I think that's a good idea. So, but we'll find out. He's on the World America right now, by the way. If anybody's on the World America, look for Tony. He's there for the whole week. I'm jealous because we haven't been on the World America yet. John went on the World America, had a great time. So I really do want to get on the World America and see what that's all about. I do love that the World America and the Icon go out on the same day. So they're actually facing each other every single time they go out. It's kind of funny.
That is a whole lot of people.
That's a whole lot of people, and it's a whole lot of ship. And I think it was brilliant just to say to all the people on the Icon, this is what you're missing out on. And then the Icon's telling all the MSC people, this is what you're missing out on. So it's just kind of good to have them head to head like that. We're going to be on the Star. Is anybody going on the Star of the Seas on August 31st? Or is anybody going on the Star of the Seas in the next couple of weeks? I think she starts up next week or the week after. It's the first of those previews. Anybody going on the preview cruises? Or anybody going on August 31st? Because if you're going on August 31st, you will see me and Stephanie somewhere. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be all over the place. We're going to be live. We're going to be running around. We're going to be having a great time. We're doing Hideaway Beach. We're going to be doing so much. And I think she's bringing La Boo Boo with her. She's not, I haven't seen her pop up on the thing yet, but she's gotten into the whole La Boo Boo thing. So I think she's bringing those with her as well. Candy, you're on the August 20th preview. Awesome. So we did the previews last time on the Icon, and I've never been so exhausted in my entire life. 3 days trying to do everything on that ship. I'm so glad we got 7 days this time. And we've already decided, I don't think we're even going to get off the ship the entire 7 days.
Yeah, because you've got
to go off and take some pictures of the ship,
and you've got magnets from all those places. So.
Yeah, I've already got my magnet. So we'll probably just get off the ship just to go out and get some footage of the ship itself, because you really can't see the entire ship until you're on a port where you can get down on the pier. Well, we're going to get off in Coco Cay because we are going to go to Hideaway Beach. And that's because she has a whole bunch of things planned for Hideaway Beach. I love Stephanie so much. When are we going to see her? We're going to see her this week, aren't we?
Yeah, the parade.
Yeah, so we're going to the Magic Kingdom this week. We're going to see the parade. If you don't follow Stephanie, she is the animator for Whimsy, the train at the very end of the new nighttime parade, that really cute face on the front of a train. That was Stephanie. She did all of that. So we're going to the parade with her. I've not seen the new parade yet. And I'm like, if I'm going to the new parade, I want to go with you. I want to see it with you. So that's what we're going to do this coming week. I can't wait. And then August 31st, Stephanie and I are driving to Port Canaveral. Oh my God. It's going to be so much fun. So excited. Yeah, so that's what's happening here. Let me see, what time is it? Wow, it's almost noontime on the East Coast, so we're going to have to wrap it up shortly. If you got any last questions, please do drop them in the comments. But we're going to have to wrap it up because I've got meetings this afternoon with a bunch of clients. I'll remind you, we are Where's Walter Travel. I'm your independent travel agent. We do not charge a dime for our services, so our services are 100% free to you. We book cruises, we book land, we book luxury, we book expedition, we book it all. And we do it at no charge to you. And we do our darndest to give you the most personalized service. We're not perfect. We're humans, but we do our darndest to bring you the most personalized service. And, of course, we bring you direct connections with all of our travel partners. Like earlier, we had somebody talking about Herigutrin, and I can very easily get Lynn or Julia to hop on the call with us, explain everything about Herigutrin. And when things go sideways, if I can't get the resolution that I need through the standard channels, then I go ahead and get my reps involved. So that's some of the perks of working with a travel agent. Besides the fact that we can add a lot of times we have access to added perks or added amenities, such as those distinctive voyages, where we can add on the free shore excursion, cocktail party of the host, and all of that good stuff. So, yeah. Carol, you need to get to the parade. You watch the video. It's just too hot. It is hot, and we know it's going to be hot. But the parade is kind of going to go on hiatus, like up and down, because we've got the Halloween parade. The Halloween party is about to start up. Then the Christmas party is going to start up. So the Starlight Parade will kind of be on and off, on and off. So we're just going to go before it all stops. So yeah, we know it's going to be hot. We're not going to get there until the evening. We already have dinner reservations at the Skipper Canteen, so we're going to go there. Which, by the way, Skipper Canteen in the Magic Kingdom, to me, that's the best sit-down restaurant in all the Magic Kingdom. So, Storm Chase, you're saying you're a photographer. You love all the pictures back. Oh, well, thank you. Those are all my pictures. Yeah, those are all my cruise pictures. Yeah, I haven't hung some up in a while, so I need to get some up there. But yeah, every picture you see back there, I took somewhere on one of our cruises. So thank you for that. I got them all done in Costco too. There's a couple that are metal. That one right there is actually on a metal frame, and the horses there, that's an acrylic frame. I really like that one. So yeah, really cool. But yeah, so yeah, if you're going to the parade, yeah, we're going to get there a little bit later, but a lot of people love to go to be our guests in the Magic Kingdom as a sit-down restaurant. I think the Skipper Canteen is far superior to that. And then if you want a quick serve, the Tortuga Tavern and the Columbia House in the Magic Kingdom are both also very, very good as well. So yeah. Douglas, Walter had a great KHM discount on the Legend of the Seas. Thank you. That was one of those group things. What's really interesting about the consortiums and the travel agencies that we work under, they can pull group space. And if that group space is available, like when we do our group cruises, we tend to pull group space and we can hold a price for a certain amount of time. Consortiums do that as well. And they hold even more space. So yeah, a lot of times we get lucky. So there are times when just recently I booked a cruise for somebody and I saved them like almost $1,000. It was somewhat of a last minute. I think we're within 6 months, 5 months of the cruise. There was still like 2 group cabins left in the particular category they were looking for, and of course those cabins had been reserved. Had been put into the group like a year and a half ago. So the price was from a year and a half ago. And yeah, I think we saved them something like $1,000 because it just happened to be there. It's really cool. I've also had cases with Celebrity where the all-included price is less than the standard price because, again, the group was set up like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So getting the booking with the Wi-Fi and the drinks was cheaper than just getting the room by itself. And that's why, again, cruise lines are rewarding you for booking early. So that is the thing. If you can book when the cruises first go on sale, that's the lowest prices out there right now. I mean, they really are. They're amazing. We saw that with the Philadelphia cruise. Philadelphia cruise is $1,000 to $1,500 higher than it was when we opened the group. The Enchanted Princess cruise with Tony and Jenny B, $1,000 to $2,000 higher than it was when we opened it. I don't know, 4 months ago, whenever that was. So the prices are generally
no, it was last
down.
Year, wasn't it?
Was it last year?
No,
the Enchanted Princess. Well, yeah,
maybe it was either the end of last year or the beginning of this year.
But yeah, so it's gone up. So instead of the prices like collapsing towards as we get closer to a cruise, more often than not, they're going up. So, SL, thank you. I appreciate it. No questions, but thank you to both. Bye, everyone. Have a good day, SL. Thank you so much. Tips to book Royal on a budget. What I was just saying, really. So number one, work with a travel agent like myself who might have access to group rates that you're simply not going to get through Royal Caribbean, or book early. If you can book early, and by book early, what I mean is as close as possible to when the cruises go on sale. That's when you're going to get some of the best rates. The other places where you're going to see better rates is when the kids are in school. So some of the best times and quote unquote lower rates, like January, February could be a good time. September, October could be a good time. Yes.
The other thing is to not book the newest ships.
Well, that's true. Don't book the new ships.
If you book, the earlier Oasis, Allure, and back from there, those will be more cost effective.
Like if you book Adventure of the Seas, Mariner of the Seas, even Symphony of the Seas, things like that. If you book some of the older ships, then you will then you will save some money. If you want to book on the Icon of the Seas, then you're going to have to book right when they go on sale. So generally right when they go on sale, that's going to be the lowest rate. If you're trying to book now for say this coming winter, prices are going to be pretty high. So if you want to save money, then you're going to have to be on an interior. Stephanie and I are paying in the neighborhood $5,000 for two of us we booked a surfside interior, and we got upgraded to a balcony. Stephanie won the upgrade, but plus or minus $5,000 for two of us to be in a surfside interior on the Star of the Seas. We're going on the very first 7-night sailing. It's expensive. You know, it's a heck of a lot more expensive than, say, if we booked on Mariner of the Seas. Probably could have done an interior room for plus or minus, $1,200, really. So if you want to book the Icon of the Seas on a budget, then you need to watch for those release dates or work with a travel agent like myself and say, hey, I want to book Icon of the Seas. I want to book it at the lowest rate. Now, see, Icon should start to take a drop, like on the next set of itineraries that are released, because Star's coming out and Legend is right behind it. So Icon's not going to be the shiny new toy anymore. Star and Legend will be. So then the Icon should start to drop a little bit at that point.
A little bit.
Yeah, and I do emphasize a little bit. In a couple of years, it might drop to more. But we have the list. I mean, I have the deployment list from Royal Caribbean right now, so I know when they're going to drop those Caribbean itineraries. That's when you will get the lowest price on the Icon. The day that they release, that is when it will be the lowest price for the Icon. So yeah, so I would suggest if you have a travel agent, contact them and say, hey, I want to know when the Icon's going on sale, or you can reach out to us. We can set up an appointment. We can talk about what you're looking for. And then I can flag you and say, okay, I got to keep an eye on when the Icon's dropping. And I can literally grab a room. I can put it on hold for 5 days. And then I can call you and say, hey, I got this room. It's on hold. Here's the price. Do you want to keep it? So yeah, so that's probably the best way. So all right, guys. So it is now 12 noon on the East Coast. So I need to run and I need to go do some meetings. But I'll remind you, I'm Walter with Where's Walter Travel. Reach out if we can help you in any way with your travels. Where'sWalterTravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you, so we never charge a dime for our services. So if we can help you, just reach out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be back here next Sunday. I'll probably be back on Thursday. I don't know if I'll have a guest, but I'll be back on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube only. So have a great day, everybody. We will see you soon.